This is FYI on your TV, brought to you by Hometown News. I'm Kathy Botham, and I have got Joshua Terpstra with me and Hunter McGill. You're both with Friends of the Rideau. And Hunter, you're the chair for a very long time. You've been on the board.
It's a labor of love.
Well, so absolutely, because you say it's 25 years, maybe even more.
Yes.
You stopped counting. So let's talk about Friends of the Rideau. What is that about?
We're a community-based, volunteer-run organization that exists to promote public awareness and enjoyment of the Rideau waterway, the Rideau Canal, the Rideau Lake system, the Cataraqui system, the entire system right from Ottawa to Kingston. And we like to make available information about the history of the Rideau, why it was built, what's happened since it opened 193 years ago, and just to ensure that people enjoy the Rideau waterway to the maximum, learn about all its different dimensions and the charm, as you were saying in your introduction.
Absolutely. I mean, the charm for each little village that it goes through.
Indeed.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you were telling me about the board, the canal is 202 kilometers long. So your board has members from Kingston all the way to Ottawa, like yourself, you're from Ottawa.
That's right.
So how many people are on the board?
We're 9 people.
9 people? Okay.
And sometimes getting everybody together, given that they're coming from such a far distance, is a challenge. But we're all very passionate about the Rideau, and we really enjoy and want to contribute to people's awareness of it and their enjoyment.
Okay. And Joshua, you run the depot in Merrickville.
Yes.
And how's that going?
Oh, it's going well. It's one of we're quite busy all the time, so that's always nice. And we're able to really inform people on both the Rideau Canal, and a lot of what we do is encouraging people to visit perhaps other lock stations, because a lot of people might not honestly realize that the Rideau Canal does span Kingston, Ottawa. They think, oh, the Rideau Canal exists in Ottawa, and that's about it. So we tell them, well, go visit Jones Falls or Chaffee's Locks, Kingston. Like, it does expand all that way. And then what we're also very well known for is our public washroom.
Yes.
We're one of the few ones in Merrickville, so that is something that we also do have and we offer to the visitors of Merrickville.
All right, and you are right in the park.
Yes.
I call it the park.
Yep.
And you're also the visitor center for the whole village of Merrickville?
Yeah, so what happens basically is people have questions about Merrickville. We fulfill that. We're supported by the village quite a bit, so the village itself does donate to give us water and sewer, so that does help us as well. That's the Chamber of Commerce now is also involved. They provide Wi-Fi to the building, so we offer that to our visitors. So it's kind of a case of, whilst yes, we are technically primarily for the Rideau, since we're in Merrickville, we basically serve the purpose of a visitor center for Merrickville, and we don't mind doing that because it is a beautiful town, and well, why not? The village helps us out, we'll help them out, of course.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the canal has such a great history. And you add the history plus what it is for people now. You know, it is vacationing spots, it's for boating, it's for, you know, just visiting and enjoying it too. And, you know, everything from heritage to what we do with it right now.
Environment is a very important part of the existence of the Rideau Canal. Because, of course, in order to operate the locks, dams have been built, and those dams create many of the lakes that exist, but they also create environment for fish, for bird life, and also make it very enjoyable for people who boat on the Rideau. Many people think that the Rideau is only for people with nice looking power boats and so on and so forth. And we say, well, actually not. In many ways, if you have a canoe or a kayak and things like that, you've got more flexibility to explore and enjoy the Rideau Canal than the folks with the big power boats, because you can go into the small creeks and the shallower waters and just get an even better impression of the Rideau Canal, the Rideau waterway, and what it is.
I've seen beautiful pictures of these kayak groups and canoe groups that get together, and they're going through the locks, and it's nothing to see 10, 20, 30, and even bigger groups just going through a lock system, you know.
That's right.
And they're going from one end to the other, so 202 kilometers. So it is a trek, but it's a different way of enjoying the canal.
Kathy, one of the things that I think I really must emphasize here is that we have a very satisfying relationship with Parks Canada. Parks Canada, of course, who are the custodians of the Rideau waterway on behalf of the people of Canada, and they operate the waterway. The people at the lock stations you see are all Parks Canada employees, and that's a very positive, very beneficial relationship for us. We really appreciate it. We have an excellent relationship with the management of the Rideau.
They appreciate everything you do, I'm sure.
Well, we run the only information center for the Rideau Canal at present. Parks, for a number of reasons, mostly to do with budget questions, had to close the information center that they had at Woods Mill here in downtown Smiths Falls. And so we've taken up the slack. We use material that Parks creates, which is very, very helpful to us. But it's a mutually satisfactory arrangement. We love to tell the story of the Rideau.
Absolutely. And
we also emphasize the custodial duties, if you will, that Parks Canada has. We mustn't forget that the Rideau Canal is a National Historic Site of Canada, has been for a decade, and also it is a UNESCO designated World Heritage Site, and that there are only, oh gosh, I hope I get the number right. I think there are 17 World Heritage Sites in Canada, UNESCO sites, and that gives it a certain distinction. We have visitors who come from overseas because and to visit the Rideau because they've seen it on the UNESCO published list of sites in Canada. They want to see it. And it's the oldest continuously operating canal in North America, which is distinctive right on its own. It's a classic example of early 19th century canal engineering and construction, still in operation, still for the most part using equipment, machinery that was in fact designed at that time, in 1800. And there it is. Needs a little fixing up from time to time, but for the most part, it works well.
It's amazing the different views you get of the canal too. If you're walking alongside of it, you stop to visit the locks, you watch the boats going through. But when you're actually in the water, and you're in a boat going through the system too, it's a whole different view of what's available to us.
That's sort of what Hunter mentioned too. It's whilst you can go by powerboat, canoe or kayak, you can even drive to the stations. It's all a possibility, and you can experience the Rideau in a different way any day, and that's a unique thing about it for sure.
And I'm a lifer. I've lived here in Smith Falls my entire life, and it always has been. When the lock's closed, you turn your car off and you watch the boats go through. And sometimes you got out and you actually walked up if you were close enough and you got to watch it. It was like a little event when the lock's closed. You got to watch the system work.
What's exciting for us is particularly at our visitor center in Merrickville is to meet new Canadians who come from countries where there are no canals. And so they've never seen a canal. And they've never seen a lock in operation. And so part of our challenge is to explain that in terms that they can relate to. And as I was mentioning to you a few moments ago, in Merrickville, which is a bustling little tourist center anyway, we had 14,300 visitors to our visitor center last year, which we were delighted by. And many of those people came because they had heard about the Rideau and were intrigued by the notion that here's this very old canal, almost 200 years old, and they just wanted to see how it works.
And a lot of education. You're doing a lot of education.
It's a very important part. As you can see,
I was just going to say, you brought these books along, and these are available at the depot?
Correct. We sell a great variety of books at the depot. These are two of the most popular ones. We also sell some hats and whatnot. The History of the Rideau Lock Station is one of our most popular books, which is the
this one here, yes.
It's written by Ken Watson, who's one of our directors. He's the most passionate guy in the Rideau, and basically it's a history book that goes from lock station to lock station, explaining why is there locks there, what problems they might have had, who built it, and it goes very much in detail about every single lock station. So it's fun for a lot of boaters like that one, because as you're going along,
it's almost a map.
Exactly, you can basically have a history. It's a map of history basically, and you experience. Oh, we're going into Merrickville. Here's why there's locks here. And then we have another book as well, which is the pictorial history. That one has a lot of very nice images in it. It's another very popular book that we have, and we offer a bunch of other books as well that basically cover all of the Rideau Canal's history, and we encourage people to stop by if they're interested to get one. And something else, I guess, since we're there, we do also have memberships at our organization.
Yes.
Might as well mention that. So
Sure.
we do, you can become a friend of the Rideau, $20 per a family or an individual for the year, and it helps support all of the work that we do with Friends of the Rideau.
Excellent, excellent. Now the canal is 202 kilometers long. You're closer to the Ottawa end.
So Merrickville, where I'm from, would be, so Smiths Falls is the middle, is the point.
Oh,
the
okay.
middle.
Smith Falls is the
Smiths
middle.
Falls
Okay.
is basically the dead center, so Depot would be just a little bit closer to the northern part. It's part of the northern sector, but
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So where is the depot we're talking about? Where is that located in
so
Merrickville?
we're at the Blockhouse Park. So if you know where the Blockhouse is in Merrickville, right on the corner of St. Lawrence and Main, we're just right next door to it, kind of hidden behind a few trees, but you'll see a large question mark on the side of our building. That is us. There's also a large sign of Friends of the Rideau on it, so we're kind of tucked away in the corner, but once people know we're there, they tend to come back a lot. So.
Excellent. So come in and learn more about our canal.
Yep.
Become a member. Become a board member. Are you interested in? You're looking
We'd
for?
be delighted to hear from people.
Excellent, excellent. And how would people get a hold of you? Just go to the depot, or is
Our
there?
web, well, yes, of course. Come
Yes.
to the depot and see us in action, but also go on the web and www.rideaufriends.com, and that's
Excellent.
where we are. And it's one of the best, if not the best, website about the Rideau Canal. It's packed with information, including information about any problems that there may be for navigation. From time to time, Parks has had to cease operations of the canal for a couple of days because there's too much water,
Yeah.
and at other times they have to warn people with large vessels, we don't have quite enough water. That doesn't seem to be the problem this year, but so it acts as a kind of a clearinghouse for information and for to introduce people to the Rideau as they plan their visits.
Well, the locks are open. You can certainly tell people are starting their vacationing time of the year, and
They
by
are.
the boats and that sort of thing going through now too. So this is a busy time of year for you. So
It is indeed.
come out and visit Joshua at the depot, and for more information they can check out the website,
website, yes,
and your Facebook page too. Joshua Terpstra, thank you very much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Hunter McGill, chair of the board for the Friends of the Rideau. Thanks for joining us.